Turn dead bodies into cake. What? Bro, she went full Cartman. She went full Cartman. From fucking South Park.
What wouldn't a mother do for her children? And just how far would a mother go to keep her children safe? These are the questions we will be contemplating in today's case. But this time, the answer has a dark and disturbing twist you definitely won't see coming.
That's a MILF.
What is up, Iwu crew? Today we are talking about the first known Italian female serial killer, a haunting curse, and a story.
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready.
That just might turn your stomach.
I'm ready.
Now,
oh, don't tell me she's Italian. Don't tell me she was a fascist.
Leonarda
she was a Nazi.
Was born on April 18, 1894.
Oh yeah, she might have been one.
In what was then known as the Kingdom of Italy.
Yep.
Leonarda had a tumultuous upbringing and a tragic
She might have made soap with
reportedly,
Jewish people.
Her mother, Amelia Dinolfi, had been assaulted, and afterward, she discovered that she was pregnant with Leonarda. In order to avoid ruin, Amelia was forced to marry her attacker. Due to the dreadful circumstances of her conception, Amelia resented her daughter and treated her terribly because of it, which led to the mother and daughter having a turbulent relationship. Due to her poor treatment by her own mother, young Leonarda allegedly attempted to take her own life on 2 separate occasions. The family lived in poverty, even when Amelia eventually remarried. Seeking to fix their financial issues, Amelia planned for Leonarda to marry a wealthy man, who then would help to take care of her family as a whole. But Leonarda disobeyed her mother's wishes, and instead married an older.
I mean, she didn't disobey. Looking like this, she ain't gonna find a wealthy dude. Come on. Bro, come on. I don't mean to be mean, but like, she got a 6 head. Come on, bro. A beauty mark with probably a hair sticking out of it. Come on, though. She got no chance. Giganto nose. She got no chance.
Man named Raffaele Pensardi, who worked as a registry office clerk. Her mother was furious with Leonarda and allegedly cursed her for her betrayal and disobedience.
So she grabbed a knife.
Believing strongly in the power of curses, Leonarda would feel the consequences of her mother's curse for the rest of her life.
Bro.
Leonarda had reportedly visited a fortune teller at some point early in her life, who gave her a grim and heart-shattering reading.
Bro, fortune tellers
were told that she would marry and have children, but every single one of them would die young. Perhaps seeking reassurance against this miserable fate. Leonarda later also visited a Romani, who predicted her future by reading the lines on her palm. Leonarda was once again given a bleak prediction when the Romani told her, "In your right hand I see prison, in your left a criminal asylum."
Bro.
Leonarda likely felt that the predictions of her dark future were the result of her mother's curse.
How dark must she have
4 years after marrying,
for them to
in
both tell her that?
Raffaele and Leonarda
she looks
moved
like a
away
witch.
from Leonarda's hometown into the small town.
If it was the 1800s, me and the boys would have burnt her. She looks like a witch. She probably has the attitude of a witch too. Bro, me and everybody in chat, we would have burnt her. We all see it, you know? Damn, bro. Listen, if a fortune teller tells you that your future looks bleak, it's because you look bleak. And you know what? If I was a fortune teller, I'd tell her the same thing. I'd tell her, I think you eat toad's feet. And I think you got a hawk's eyeball somewhere. And maybe you need a cow's beak. And she's going to ask me, what is a cow's beak? I'm going to say, exactly.
Town of Loria, where her husband, Raffaele, had grown up. For a while, the couple did well for themselves, as they both found work. But in 1927, Leonarda was arrested and imprisoned for committing fraud, though it isn't clear exactly what her crime entailed.
I mean, 1927 was the First World War, right?
They moved to Lacedonia, where they were once again besieged by trouble. In 1930, the Irpinia earthquake destroyed the couple's home, though they both survived. At last, the couple moved to the town of Correggio, and their luck appeared to finally be turning around.
But then the war broke out.
Flourished as she opened a small shop where she sold a variety of goods, such as soap and tea. There, Leonarda began telling her customers that she had special powers that could help their dreams to come true. Soon, she was telling fortunes and became incredibly popular in her neighborhood, as well as highly respected. People from across Correggio, women in particular, would come seeking her aid to help them manifest their deepest desires. Leonarda's life was still not without difficulty, though.
I'm telling you,
she was a witch. Through the loss of many children. Though pregnant a total of 17 times, she lost 3 children to miscarriages, and 10 more died while they were still very young, mostly from a variety of illnesses.
I mean, let's be real, bro. It was the 1920s. Okay? Telling a woman that she was gonna lose 20 children, right? Is like telling her, hey, after you go out of here, you're gonna have a glass of water and you're gonna eat some bread. It's like, yeah, bro, that's kind of what we do right now. It's kind of what we do around these parts at this time. Everybody has like 100 children and 87 of them die. 2 are gay, but then get straightened up. Right? 1 is a serial killer. 1 is a good for nothing. The other one's a retard. The other one wants to become a streamer. That's the second retard. And then there's 1 that's going to keep pushing the family forward. That's how it was, bro. That's how it was.
Was the rule of 10 curse, or the fortune teller's prediction coming true? Perhaps it was both. Only 4 of Leonarda's many children managed to survive past adolescence, which resulted in her becoming extremely protective of them. Any mother who had endured the heartbreaking losses of so many children would go to great lengths to protect the ones she still had. But Leonarda took her mother's love and determination much farther than many others would dare ever go, and it soon ventured to a place that was wicked and dark. Though Leonarda fiercely loved each of her 4 surviving children,
I would have burnt her
she couldn't seem to help the fact that she had a particularly soft spot in her heart for one of her sons, Giuseppe. He had become her favorite, and so, in 1939, when he told her that he was going to go join the Italian army, which was preparing for the beginning of World War II, she was devastated at the thought that he might never come home from the war. There was nothing Leonarda wouldn't do to try to keep Giuseppe from harm, and luckily for her, she knew exactly what would ensure that he was kept safe.
She killed the rest of her children. She killed the rest of her children. So that she was a single mother. No, so that she had a single child. And he wouldn't get sent. What the fuck?
When the lonely Faustina Seti, a 73-year-old lifelong spinster, sought Leonarda's aid to help her finally find a husband, Leonarda saw an opportunity to break her mother's curse and guaranteed that Giuseppe would survive the ensuing war. Leonarda told Faustina that she had found her a suitable husband who lived in Pola,
which is
now modern-day Croatia. For her services helping Faustina, Leonarda was reportedly paid 30,000 lira, which was all of Faustina's life savings.
Oh my God, bro.
Excited to have finally found someone suitable to marry, Faustina soon began writing letters to the man who would become her husband,
Giuseppe.
and even received some back.
Giuseppe.
But instead of celebrating the news, Leonarda convinced her to keep it a secret and not tell anyone. Little did Faustina know, it was Leonarda who was writing the letters back to her, posing as her would-be husband. Soon, Leonarda convinced Faustina to write letters to her family members in order to tell them that she had gone to Pola and convince them that everything was fine.
Wait, what is she gonna do?
When Faustina was packed to leave, with her gray hair dyed dark and her heart alight with excitement, she met Leonarda at her shop, where the two women celebrated her new life with a drink. Faustina was never heard from again, but her concerned family members' minds were put at ease once they received letters written in her hand, explaining that she had left to finally get married. But still, none could understand why she hadn't told them herself, or even bothered to say goodbye. Leonarda's shop was frequented by other women who, like Faustina, were seeking ways to make their dreams come true and change their lives. Francesca Soavi, like Faustina, went to Leonarda for help to find another job.
She kept killing women.
The 55-year-old school teacher was feeling lonely in the small.
She kept killing women. But how does that help your son Giuseppe? How does killing a woman help you? I don't understand that part. What?
Small town.
How?
In exchange for 3,000 lira, Leonarda found her a wonderful job at a school for girls in Piacenza in northern Italy. She too was encouraged to write postcards to her friends and family, which were sent just before she left.
She was scamming, and then she
but
killed
not
her.
To tell anyone of the job until after she arrived. On September 5th, 1940, Francesca was due to set off and begin her new job, but before she left, she went to visit Leonarda one last time.
And they drank.
An awful smell emanating from Leonarda's respected little store was occasionally reported by those living in the area. No one thought much of it at the time, as Leonarda was so well liked. No one could even come close to imagining the depths of horror that had occurred in her kitchen. Undeterred by the occasional terrible smell known to seep up from the floorboards of Leonarda's shop, Virginia Cacioppo went to visit in the hopes of also finding a new job, just as Francesca had. Virginia was a former soprano singer and had even sung at the famed opera house La Scala. But since then, she had fallen into a state of near poverty and was desperately seeking anything that would improve her situation in life. Leonarda appeared to work her magic, though not for a small sum. In fact, Leonarda demanded 50,000 lira, which was all the money Virginia had remaining, and even took some of her jewels. But Leonarda had promised her a position as a secretary for an impresario, an owner of an opera theater in Florence, and Virginia would have paid anything for the opportunity.
How do you scam like this?
Just like with Faustina and Francesca, Virginia was sworn into secrecy. But unlike the other women, she couldn't help but mention to a few people that she may have found a wonderful new job with the help of Leonarda. On September 30th, 1940, Virginia visited Leonarda one last time to say thank you and goodbye.
Please tell me they burnt her.
By this time, people had started to notice that some of the women in the town, particularly the older and unattached women, were disappearing after visiting Leonarda's shop. Though family members of the women had received letters from them after they first left, none could get in contact with them again, which many found concerning and suspicious. Virginia's sister was especially skeptical of her incredible new job, and as she had last seen Virginia entering Leonardo Cianciulli's house, she went to the superintendent of police to share her fears for the worst and to report Virginia missing.
But how does this help Giuseppe?
The superintendent of police began investigating and soon found Leonardo's ability to procure miraculous jobs and husbands very suspicious. The superintendent soon found evidence that appeared to indicate the 3 missing women were murdered, such as Leonardo selling off all 3 women's clothing and shoes.
Oh my god, you stupid fuck.
Because of this, Leonardo was arrested, but the superintendent wasn't convinced that Leonardo and...
Dude, they gave you 50,000 lira, 30,000 lira, and then you chose to sell the clothes. The clothes aren't worth 100 lira. Like, what? What?
Older woman herself could have committed
I would have burnt her at the stake.
He suspected that her favorite son Giuseppe must have also been involved. As soon as Leonardo realized that her son could go to jail,
she admitted
everything. She had killed Faustina, Francesca, and Virginia in the most horrible way. And to save her son from any blame, she gave a detailed account of the crimes. Evidently, when Leonardo had realized that Giuseppe could die in the upcoming war, she believed that it was once again the curse coming to claim the lives of all of her children.
Bro.
In order to protect her much-loved son and counteract the curse, Leonardo believed there was only one thing she could do.
She had to sacrifice.
Human sacrifice. She knew that asking higher powers to preserve and protect her son would require a great sacrifice in exchange, which is why Leonardo sacrificed all 3 women in the hopes that it would ensure her son's survival.
Yeah, you burn her.
When her first victim, Faustina, had come to visit Leonardo one last time, Leonardo gave her a drugged glass of wine. As she fell unconscious, Leonardo struck her with an axe, killing her before dragging her body into a closet. Leonardo collected Faustina's blood in a basin and began cutting up her body into 9 pieces. At her trial, Leonardo was said to grip the witness stand rail with oddly delicate hands.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes. 9 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I know how she cut them. I know how she cut them, bro. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that, bro. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, like that. Jesus Christ.
And calmly set the prosecutor right on certain details. Her deep-set dark eyes gleamed with a wild inner pride as she made an official statement and described Faustina's gruesome fate in detail. She said, "I threw the pieces into a pot, added 7 kilos of caustic soda, which I had bought to make soap, and stirred the mixture until the pieces dissolved in a thick, dark mush that I poured into several buckets and emptied in a nearby septic tank.
Wasted nothing.
As for the blood in the basin, I waited until it had coagulated, dried it in the oven, ground it, and mixed it with flour, sugar, chocolate, milk, and eggs, as well as a bit of margarine, kneading all the ingredients together.
Oh my god.
I made lots of crunchy tea cakes
Oh
and
my
served
god.
them to the ladies who came to visit.
Oh my god.
Though Giuseppe and I also ate them.
Oh my god, she's
Francesca
a
Soavi, the
she's a
schoolteacher,
cannibal.
was given the same horrible treatment on the night that she went to see Leonarda, where she was killed and dismembered with an axe.
What the fuck?
Her body was also made into cakes that were sold in Leonarda's shop. Virginia, too, came to the same dark and stomach-turning fate when she dared to visit Leonarda on the night before she was meant to leave. She was also drugged with wine and killed with an axe, and parts of Virginia's body were melted down in order to create soap. Leonarda gave a sickening statement about Virginia's death, saying, "She ended up in the pot like the other two. Her flesh was fat and white. When it had melted, I added a bottle of cologne, and after a long time on the boil, I was able to make some most acceptable creamy soap. I gave bars to neighbors and acquaintances. The cakes, too, were better. That woman was really sweet."
Oh, bro. Oh, bro.
Exam topics. Your gateway to IT certification success.
Oh, dude.
From Microsoft
Oh,
Azure
dude.
to Cisco.
Oh, bro, you just burned this
While
woman.
in prison, Leonarda decided to write her memoirs, where she included advice on how to turn parts of the human body into soap. It was titled An Embittered Soul's Confessions. Her trial was attended in droves, with people waiting for hours outside the courtroom just for the chance of getting a seat within.
Dude,
Allegedly, there was still skepticism surrounding Leonarda's ability to kill all three women, despite her gruesome details of the crimes. In order to prove that she had committed the murders alone, without the help of her son or husband, Leonarda was taken to the morgue. The story goes that once there, she dissected a corpse and cut it into 9 pieces in under 12 minutes, which horrified and convinced the authorities who witnessed it. Without a shadow of a doubt, Leonarda Cianciulli was found guilty and sentenced to 30 years in prison and 3 years in an asylum, much like the Romani had predicted in her youth. Leonarda became known as the soap maker of Correggio. The pot that she had used to boil her victims was donated to the Criminological Museum in Rome, where it can still be seen today. In 1970, Leonarda died of cerebral apoplexy while in a women's criminal asylum. Leonarda had committed 3 atrocious murders, all in the hopes of keeping her son safe during World War II, and to stop a curse that seemed set on killing all of her children. So what became of Giuseppe?
Listen. Horrible woman. But W mom, Jesus Christ. She did what she had to do. Jesus fucking Christ.
Exactly what happened to Giuseppe Cianciulli, as there aren't many details. But it appears that he managed to survive a war that killed countless others. Was this unlikely survival because of his mother's human sacrifices?
It worked, bro.
We'll let you decide.
You can't argue with results. You know, you can't argue with results. Jesus fucking Christ. Boys.